What's up, fellas? It may be below freezing outside. My heart is warm right now. I'm sitting on a world-class classic. It is an original paint, born November of 1971, Honda CB754, just tuned to the nines and completely rebuilt. The engine was just completely rebuilt by the mechanic Jeff Castine, the best four-cylinder mechanic east of the Mississippi, and it's been polished to perfection by Doc and Ronnie and the boys, and she's ready to go. It's got this brand new Del Covic exhaust on it. Listen to this thing. Absolute magic. This thing's all original paint job, original chrome. I think it even has original handlebar grips on it. The original gauges, 35,000 miles. Typical Honda quality. Everything works perfectly on this bike. The turn signals, left and right turn signals, high beam, low beam, the flasher light, the neutral beam, everything. The high beam, idiot lights, everything on this bike is just, this thing's an absolute dime piece, guys. Enough flapping in the gums. Wait till you hear this thing fill the jungle with sound. If you're looking for a vintage classic that's absolutely mechanically perfect and tuned to the nines, that's original, look no further. I'll give it a hell yeah. This thing's freaking awesome. It shifts perfectly. The clutch pull is like butter. One finger clutch. The brakes are on point. Jeff totally rebuilt the brakes on this. He rebuilt the forks, rebuilt the motor, put tires on it, chain, everything's done, new battery. We put over $5,000 into preservation and restoration services on this thing, but we paid a close eye at keeping the original paint and patina because it's a classic. It's a 50-year-old classic. These things are becoming super rare. You can't buy a 69 Sandcast for less than 30 grand. The 70s are pushing the high teens. This one here, well, we'll let you guys determine what it's worth, but buy it now while it's still affordable. And they're getting to be really rare, especially ones like this with a brand new motor. Guys, I'm just full of gratitude today. You know, going out on a limb, buying this old abandoned factory and turning it into a world-class hotspot for vintage motorcycles, and having my family and friends on board here, and Christy and Junior and the whole team, Kyle. You know, having Jeff Castine, who owned All Sport Cycles for 30 years, sell his shop and move into the Bixby house next door here to be a part of the team is a huge blessing. Jeff is a world-class mechanic, and this thing is tuned to the nines. Now, you know, any decent mechanic can clean a set of carburetors on one of these, but to synchronize them and jet it as perfectly as he has matched to this exhaust, there's no backfiring, there's no hesitation. The thing just pulls like a rocket ship. This motor is brand new. He bored it 20 over. Let me grab the work order because it's an extensive work order of what's been done to this thing, and I just feel blessed to be able to ride and to represent such world-class pieces like this. This is definitely Kaplan America approved. Investment quality, classic vintage iron. So the work order came out to $4,815, what we did to the bike. Now, let me add that we've been working on this bike on and off for about a little bit over a year. We bought this thing about a year ago, and it had 35,000 miles on it. It had been sitting for some time, but it was an excellent core bike with the original paint. So we decided we'd take it to the limit. We gave it to Jeff. We said, do whatever it needs. So the first thing he did is he removed the engine from the frame. It had been sitting for about a decade. Dismantled the entire engine, bored the cylinders 20 over, reground all the valve seats, installed new intake valves. The exhaust valves are in brand new condition. Now, he told me there are no exhaust valve seals on an overhead cam 750. That's the way they come. So he said when you first start them, it's normal for it to have a puff of white smoke. I didn't see any, but he said there are. I didn't know that. I didn't know that they didn't have exhaust valve seals on these. That's the way they're built. But so he rebuilt the valves, completely dismantled the entire rack of carburetors, and soaked them in the tank, cleaned, and completely rebuilt the carburetor, replaced the needle jets and the jet needles. We actually used 2 Honda 750s because we took some of the carburetor parts off of another one to make it perfect. So the engine was completely rebuilt. Everything's new on the motor. The base gasket, the head gasket, the valve cover gaskets, the valves, the pistons, the rings, the bore. The exhaust is a brand new Dilkevic, which is beautiful exhaust. It has this nice bronze tint to it once they get, it's chrome, but it has a bronze tint to it, which is beautiful on the gold paint job. And it sounds, as much as I like the stock KO exhaust system, this thing just sounds like magic. Absolutely love it. Period correct. So the entire fuel system was rebuilt. You got to see the inside of this gas tank. I shed a tear of joy when I looked inside this gas tank here, because normally they're all crusty and rusty. Look inside there. Jeff is an absolute perfectionist. The inside of that tank is spotless. Looks like it just came out of the box. And it's 50 years old, and there's no dents in it. And the original paint has some patina on it, but you know, that's what collectors want. They want original bikes, not rehashed, repainted ones. I'd rather have this paint job right here than a repainted bike, hands down, no doubt about it, worth more. So the fuel system was rebuilt, the petcock was replaced, all the fuel lines were done, the air box was dismantled, cleaned, and rebuilt with a new air filter. The carbs are completely rebuilt, the intake boots are new, the motor's rebuilt, the exhaust is brand new, the clutch, it has been dismantled, cleaned, serviced, and reassembled. The entire motor just absolutely runs like a brand new motorcycle. So again, the inside of the tank looks brand new. The charging system was serviced and cleaned, and everything, all the connections cleaned. It's putting out over 14 volts. We also replaced the tires on it. And then he took the front end off the bike and rebuilt the fork seals and put new fork oil in it. So what else did we do? So let me it's got new mirrors on it. Those are the original grips, I'm pretty sure, from 1970. We had Billy Blythe, our resident, there's another guy I'm super grateful to have on the team, 5-time Isle of Man racer, got married at the Isle of Man, was in factory-sponsored rider from Bultaco back in the 70s, and raced the Isle of Man 5 times. Billy is our upholstery guy. He does the seats here. He reupholstered the seat with a brand new seat cover. It looks beautiful. And of course, there's a full page list of parts I'll go over here with you. 4 brand new pistons and rings, 20 over, a new Yuasa battery, new gasket set base, all the gaskets in the motor are new stator gasket, new tranny cover gasket, new petcock, 4 new intake valves, a new oil pressure switch, a new neutral switch, 4 brand new intake manifolds, 4 brand new air boots, 4 NGK spark plug caps, 4 NGK plugs, a new oil filter, a new air filter, 2 new throttle cables, a new clutch cable. Did I mention the throttle and clutch cable are like butter? That's because Jeff lubed them properly. Most people just throw the cables on dry. They pull like butter. The right-hand bar switch is brand new. It's got a brand new top-of-the-line DID 530 chain in the original natural color. Brand new ignition switch. You can see the ignition switch has got the brand new keys hanging out of it. That's something that is often overlooked. In a source of trouble, a 51-year-old ignition, if you don't replace it, you get shorts, you get bad connections, intermittent. That's brand new, okay? Brand new ignition switch. 4 new carb linkage boots. NOS ones. They cost us $69 plus shipping. And where are you going to find 4 new carb linkage boots? You got to search for them. Just finding all the parts to do this bike, for someone who's in the business, just to source all these parts, you're looking at 8 to 10 hours just sourcing all the parts. And then they got to come in. You got to sort them and everything. And it takes a long, that's why it took us a freaking year to do this. Okay. The instrument bulbs were all replaced. It has the brake system's completely rebuilt. The master cylinder, the brakes, front brake, master cylinder was rebuilt. The caliper was serviced. Everything's been gone through on the brake system. It stops on a dime. So on to page 2. Page 2. The left. The mirrors are brand new. The seat lock set is brand new. The front and rear tire have been replaced with period correct rubber in excellent condition. It also has new fork boots. That wasn't on the other page. New fork seals and of course 20-weight fluid. Battery, exhaust, pretty much everything's covered on there. It has non-ethanol fuel in there. Highly recommend if you buy this bike. You could run pump gas if you're going to take it for a ride and run it through, but don't leave pump gas in these vintage bikes. Call your local VP dealer, get ethanol-free VP gas. We use VP 110 in all our bikes. It's a little higher octane, burns cleaner. You won't have any problems with the carbs ever. You could leave that gas in there for years, you won't have a problem. So once Jeff massaged this thing to perfection mechanically, then it went to the detail shop. They have it down for 10 hours. I promise you they spent more than that, but the first thing they did, they gave it a full hot water steam clean, pressure wash, and hand wash with degreaser. The whole bike was clean top to bottom. The frame in various spots was touch-up painted. Most of the paint on the frame is original, but it was touched up, and you can't tell where it was touched up, which is the best part. It was done right by professionals. The motor, the triple clamps, the swing arm, the kickstand, everything on the bike was serviced, cleaned, all the aluminum was polished or buffed, and the gas tank was buffed and polished and then coated with 2 coats of carnauba wax, so it has a nice shine on it. That's about it, folks. The only paint on the bike that's not original is the left side cover has been repainted. The right side cover is the original paint. As you can see, it has a little more patina on it. The original shocks look great. Take a close look at the motor, the engine cases, the cylinder head, the cylinder fins are all perfect. There's no damage or crash damage on the side of the motor. Now, guys, this thing's 51 years old. It only has 35,000 miles on it, okay? And the motor was just totally rebuilt. So all the metals on the transmission, the engine cases, everything has got another 50 years left in it easily. So it's safe to say this thing will outlast me. 50 years from now, it should look just like it does now if you take care of it. Has the original chain guide on it, has the turn signals, 51 years old, and it's got the original turn signals on it. The rear fender and tail light lens are original. This is from Martin's Cycle World, Honda Yamaha in Springfield, Mass, about 15 miles from here. It hasn't gone far from where it originally was born or sold. The gas cap is original in mint. The gauges are in beautiful shape. The badges on the side of the 754 with the jewel badges are in mint shape. The engine cover chrome is mint. No evidence of any ever being dropped on the turn signals. The turn signals have no scratches on them. Neither do the foot pegs, brake levers. These are all the things you look for in a vintage bike, guys. You look and see, was it dropped? Was it abused? Was it left outside the rust? No. It was owned by someone who cared about it, and we took it to the next level. But, hey, we might have gone too far, okay? We didn't have to bore it 20 over and completely rebuild everything, but it's freaking perfect now. You will not find a better running 7170 Honda anywhere on the planet. It can't run any better than this. It's brand new. the pistons, the rings, the valves, the intake, the exhaust, the carburetor, the electronics, ignition. It's all new, guys. So this is a no excuses bike. It's not going to be cheap. We put, now that work order that says here $4,815, that's a conservative estimate. At 90 bucks an hour, okay, it adds up pretty quick. So $4,800 is, I don't think there's anywhere in the country you could drop off your CB750 and get this amount of work done for $4,800. So that's a conservative estimate, $5,000, conservative estimate.
In fact,
of the value.
I think for this kind of work, $90 an hour is considered
ridiculous.
That's basically a wholesale number. If you look at other classic restoration shops, they're charging $125 plus. Harley dealers $130, depending on location.
Yeah, and they don't have a Jeff Castine. They don't have a wizard, Chris Kelly. They don't have a doc there. Our guys are here because they love vintage bikes. We eat, sleep, breathe, dream, and love this shit. We don't do it for the money. I would have stayed in the computer industry where I was making a solid 6 figures every year if it was about money. I'm doing this because I love it. And this bike, man, it speaks to me. Beautiful piece. We're going to be proud to hand the keys to the new owner. If you buy this bike and you want to leave it in the museum, we'd love to have it here. It's a kick-ass machine, and it belongs in the museum or on the open road. I wouldn't hesitate to ride this to California today. Get on it and go. It's ready to go. Thanks for watching, everybody. Lots of awesome bikes coming out. The auction starts this Friday. I've got 3 754s. I've got a 1970, a 71, and a 73. All of them fantastic bikes. So listen, the last time we had a 750 as nice as any of these 3, I had a military haircut and I was 250 pounds. It was, over 5 years ago. I saw the video of our 1970 750. I was clean shaven, short hair, like military, like a cop haircut, and these just don't come along like this. So if you're looking for one, buy this. You're not going to regret it. It's a kick-ass piece. Thanks for watching. God bless America.